Okay, round 3. Here we go. Now, you should be able to hear me. Should be okay. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. This is the most like whoever has a question right now wanted me to throw cards. There must be something that wants to come through. This is insane. This is insane. Like all of a sudden my audio's gone. It's not recognizing my mic. My internet just dropped out. Like who wants me to be quiet? Like what? What? So bizarre. So bizarre. Wow. That was the weirdest thing I have. That was the weirdest thing. Crazy. I know. And I mean, I had to go reset my router to get my internet to come back on. Like all of a sudden it said like your connection's not secure. I'm like, what? Then I had to go all the way out of where I'm broadcasting and then put in my audio. And I was like, why is my audio, my microphone gone? That was weird. All right. So who had the question that the other side doesn't want us to ask? I got my cards. Let's go. Let's go. The strangest. That was crazy. Okay. I'm back live on YouTube. So put it in the comments what your question is. They're listening. It seems like it. Seriously, that was the weirdest thing. Because at first it didn't say that didn't have any internet. At first it said something about your connection is not secure. They wanted me to reboot my Ethernet card. I'm like, what? And this is a brand new computer, literally 2 months old. So I know it's not my computer. I went in the house and I restarted the internet. But yeah, let's throw cards. But you guys have to tell me what you want me to ask. Miss Sal, hi. Sorry about that. That was the most bizarre thing I've ever experienced with the interwebs. So yeah, like I'd said, you guys tell me what you want to know and I'll pull cards on it. Because typically my questions as spirit about what's happening are going to be very different than yours. And this is for you. So if y'all have questions about what's going on, or general speaking, like collectively speaking in the world, ask and we'll throw cards in it. And I'll just tell you what the cards say. And what I get. But just as I did that, everything cut. So I came back. So I was like, I don't want to leave y'all hanging. What do we need to know about the collective energy, current events, and how we should best show up? I love that question, Miss Megs. That is a perfect question. Could you pull find job or build businesses full time? I don't want to do personal readings. I want to do it for the collective, like collective. So you have questions about like this one that Megs is saying. What do we need to know about the collective energy, current events, that sort of thing? That's a good question, Michelle. And see, these are the things I know people are thinking about in the quiet of their own homes. What do we need to know, Spirit? I mean, I could tell you guys what I've been getting in meditations, but we'll throw cards first. All right. Interesting. I wish I could show you these cards. The first card up is the King of Swords. Like, I wish I could show you guys the whole card thing. King of Swords, which, I mean, that is authority. And we do, it's crossed by justice reversed. So what do we need to know? Well, that the order and law of the land right now is not exactly lawful or orderly. That is how I would take that shit up right now, like for real. Yeah, I know. And the foundation card, because I threw a Celtic, the foundation card is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. The current events, the energy, all of this tells me like there's some shady shit going on from some power and greed. And it's very immature energy. This is not like the King of Pentacles reversed. This is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. You know who this reminds me of? Because see, I don't think the tech bros and the guys in power, I don't look at them as mature adults, kings. I look at them as children, teenagers. That's the energy, right? The greedy mine, 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 mine energy. That is the foundation. However, things that are passing right now, King of Cups reversed. Who do you think the King of Cups reversed is? Who do you think this is? I mean, this could represent, because water sign king, could represent the whole entire U.S. government, because that's when the U.S. is Cancer, water sign male. But I actually think this is the orange one. Like King of Cups reversed is the guy who is literally overly sensitive, pout, 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 me, crap, crap, crap. That's King of Cups reversed. And part of this unlawfulness and the things that we're going through right now in the current events is because he's not getting his way and nobody likes him. I mean, sorry, but that is what it is. Like, what are we supposed to do with that? Just saying, it is what it is. Now they're trying to, like, Nine of Wands reversed, right? They want to end all of the conspiracies, all of the bullshit. And we all want it to end. All of us want the division to end, but they're trying to bring an end to, I think, the way that I would read all of this is everyone going after the mango, the angry mango. That a lot of what's going on. And y'all can think whatever you want to think about what just happened this week with the young man who was very outspoken. You know who I'm talking about. That was against pretty much everyone and everything except for his kind. And I think there's more to come with that. I think we all have questions about that and what the news has said and is saying. Here's the good news. In the future, we have the World card. Hey, Andrea, what's up? We have the World card in the future. We are moving into an upright World card with the Ace of Cups. So look, the world is going to come together at some point, or at least those of us in the world that have a heart and have empathy. And I've been feeling like this all over the place, that while there's a bunch of destructive, a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of rhetoric happening, and a bunch of division and hatred spreading, those of us, and I told Megan this in a text earlier, there are more of us in the place of love in our hearts and our being than there are of them. The angry, hatred, divisive, opinionated, narrow-minded individuals. They are louder right now. And this is what Spirit keeps saying. The dark is making a big splashy, flashy play right now. And I know you guys feel it. I get it. I feel it. I don't like it. And they are controlling the laws, and it's unlawful and it's unfair and it's ridiculous and it's supposedly hurting people. But don't forget, the same source energy that created the light created the dark. The same source energy that brought day brought night. The same source energy that gave us the free will to decide, to create whatever we want, created that free will choice too. They are louder right now. They're not more powerful. They are louder. Squeaky wheel gets the grease and gets the attention. Don't give it your attention. When you see all of that, understand they're taking their last stand. They are worried. And I mean the dark, the energy of the dark, the archons, the bullshit, the demonic ones, however you want to say it, however it's playing out, or how you say it. They are louder right now. They are trying really hard to overpower the narrative. And for the most part, the mainstream has capitulated to it. And so has social media. That doesn't actually mean that there are more of them or that they're winning. Okay? Future. Ace of Cups, return to love and the world. I love that that's what came through. Now, we do have to take a stand against the lies. Yes, it is their last ditch effort. Their time is limited. And I'm not saying that they're not going to get somewhere with their stupid policies and shit, but here's the thing about that. And I said this in the monthly forecast. More corruption would be unveiled this month. The monthly forecast I talked about, like, they were showing me that there were people in the limelight at the very beginning of that broadcast. What did I say? Leaders that are in the limelight are going to fall away. Are we seeing that? Pay attention. That's happening. And a lot of the stuff that institutions that were severely broken, severely dysfunctional, people are becoming aware of and finally having the conversation. How long have I said education's broken, healthcare's broken? Like, how long have I said that? For real, you guys. Years now. It's been years I've been saying it. And now people are finally, the majority of the population is like, now it affects me. Now I'll talk about it. Now I'll see it. How selfish is that? But that's reality. So we have to take a stand. There's going to be a lot of things coming up at us. If you look at the number of swords pointing down in this picture, pay attention. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swords going down, 2 going up. What I notice about this is the negative is pushing hard, but there is light. There is the sword of truth. Maybe it's not as loud with those 2 pointing up, but it's there and it's higher than the hellscapes. So yeah, there's a spiritual battle going on for real. Hopes and fears that we're going to lose, things are going to fall apart, blah, blah, blah. Final outcome, 8 of Cups. What is 8 of Cups? 8 of Cups is walking away from the things that don't work. Pull your attention away. That's what we need to know. Stop giving it energy. And know that in the end, all things turn out for your benefit and for your good. Okay. Do you guys want me to tell you what Spirit's been telling me about all this shit? And it may or may not be something y'all want to hear. Chicago. They're not going to Chicago right now, which is good, but they're going to Tennessee. I don't know why Tennessee, but they are. National Guard, I mean. So I'll wait till your comments come in. I mean, if you guys don't want to hear it, I'll tell you. I've had to take a stand against the lies and corruption. Absolutely, you have. And a lot of people have. Like, yeah. Toddlers throwing a 10. Yeah. Like, for real, you guys. This isn't the worst that we're going to see. It isn't. But understand, too. You remember I said we're in a time where illusions will be able, we're, like the time we're in right now with the Mercury Cazimi and all of that. Illusions, we can break through the illusions, have clarity through the illusions. Here's what I want you guys to really focus on. A lot of the stuff that's playing out in, let's just say, political theater, because it is theater, in the mainstream, on social media, the things that are being allowed and being promoted. You're manifesting Asia. Yeah, I want to go to Hawaii, except that my kids don't want to go, but that's on them. Like, I was like, my dad wants to move back to Hawaii. Elon has a huge building in Tennessee. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Austin too. Um, what I think everyone needs to pay attention to is what's in the mainstream is smoke and mirrors. It's a magic show. It's illusion, delusion. The narrative isn't as we saw when the young man that was talking on stage, I'm not going to say his name, um, immediately was blamed on the radical left who don't believe in gun violence, which is just hysterical to me that they went there. And that was the whole narrative for 2 solid days. And then they cut the kid who's, and the governor of Utah literally said, I watched his press conference, I have prayed that the perpetrator was not from this state and not from this country. My prayers were not answered. His hope was that it wasn't homegrown and it wasn't from his state. But lo and behold, it was from the Groyper Group. Look it up. Groyper. You can't believe he said that out loud? I can. Literally, he's like, I was praying it was someone from out of the country and out of my state. Like, yeah, I bet you were, bud. But guess what? The Mormon kid that was radicalized from another group run by Nick Fuentes. Yeah. And they're like, I talked to a friend of mine last night who was like, oh, he's Antifa. I'm like, where did you hear that? So like, and his parents were liberals. I'm like, where did you hear that? Like, literally, there are people that want to believe whatever they want to believe, and they're changing the narrative. They're trying to change he wasn't part of, yes, his parents, maybe they're MAGA, but he's not. This is all illusion. It's all just narrative. It's all just political theater. Like, don't get lost in it, is my point. Don't. Because all that narrative is to get everyone to point the finger. Gun violence, period, is wrong. Wrong. Like, I honestly think that shit needs to stop. The fact that there was a shooting in an Evergreen High School, Colorado, around the same time and got lost in that news cycle pisses me off, because Evergreen is only about 20 to 30 minutes from Columbine. You guys remember Columbine, right? I lived in Colorado. I spent a lot of time up there and had a friend from Evergreen. People immediately said they hated half the country, so they spew hate. And immediately the same day, a website was created to dox people who don't support. They're doxing people. And Squarespace is hosting that website. And here's my thing. I have Acuity, which is owned by Square. If they don't take that website down, I'm changing my calendar scheduler. It's the selective outrage that does it for me. Yeah. Like, nobody, none of us should have to worry about going somewhere and getting caught up in some sort of ridiculous violence like that. All of us should be able to walk free. One of the things I love about Asia is the fact that there are no guns. So therefore, there's no gun violence. Like, that needs to happen. He was trying to, mimic Columbine. I know. So the whole thing here is, this is political theater. Don't get lost. Spirit has told me this, y'all. It's going to look darker for a while before it gets better. You don't have to see the dark. It's up to you to see the light. It's up to you to take the track of asking the right questions. And one of the questions I always ask is, okay, this is horrible. All this shit that's happening is horrible. What's the point to it? How's this turning out for the good of the people, for the good of humans? How? Ask that question. Yep, lighthouses unite. All right, so Michelle asked a question about food. Let me go back because I want to make sure I ask this properly. And y'all can put questions in, collective stuff, not just about you, because I'm not going to answer those ones. But I will answer, will our food supply improve? Okay. I'm only going to do 7 cards on that one. Yeah. So the answer is no. But here's the thing. As I was throwing those cards down, here's the answer I'm hearing in my head. Your food supply can improve if you take your food supply, just like I'm saying, your health into your own hands. Grow food. Buy from local. Like, buy local. Every town across America, every city has farmers markets, local CSAs. You can get meat from farmers and buy from the farmers directly, which means they're processing it directly. Go in with some family, buy half a cow. Y'all have no idea. Like, living in Colorado for 18 years, we used to buy a quarter cow, quarter pig, and it would last us a year. Plus, I had my goats, and the male goats, typically we did not keep them. We used them for meat because you can only have so many male goats in with your pens, right? I always kept the females because they produce milk, but males stinky, and they're stinky. They're horrible, smelly. I would only go into the farm stands, not markets, unless I have to. Yeah, everybody can get, your food supply can get better if you take your food in. And I know you think it's going to cost you more, and it actually will not. It will cost you about the same and sometimes even less. But get on with a CSA. For those of you who live in the city and you're like, oh, no, imperfect fruit or imperfect foods. I used to be part of that delivery program when I lived in Washington. And they, they deal lower, like you get a variety of in-season fruits and vegetables. You can look them up. I think it's called Imperfect Foods or something. So the ones that don't make it to the store, they purchase and then they send out to their people, but they get some of their stuff from the local farms as well. There are different places y'all can take that into play. I'm going to tell you right now, our food supply is bad. The soil is bad commercially. You're right about that, Michelle. The soil is bad on a commercial level, industrial level, for the big farmers that sell to the grocery stores, and they're industrial farming, and they're using fertilizers, and that's killing the nutrients in the soil. Yes, you're right. But the organic homegrown farmers, the small homesteaders, the small ranches that make their things available at farmers markets or on Facebook groups or on the Nextdoor app. Like, I see it on my Nextdoor app. Those people typically are not poisoning their food because they're eating it too. You know what I'm saying? Typically, they're not putting the chemical fertilizers down and ruining their soil, and they know enough about gardening to know how to enrich the soil and change the soil. Inevitably, we're going to go through some shit when it comes to our food supply going forward. Stock up on some things. Learn how to can, right? We're almost at the end of the season. We're pretty close to it. Can apples, can tomatoes, can beans, did you guys know you can can potatoes in ball jars? I used to do it in Colorado all the time. When I bring in my potato harvest, like you brine them and stick them in a ball jar. And then you have them to make mashed potatoes or cut up potatoes, start growing your own. Girlfriend, come to Texas and explain to me how the hell it has been so hard here. Things start out great. And then because of the humidity and the absolute insane temperatures, heat wise, everything gets fungus and dies. I have tried so many different things and I've gotten a few things. We got some of our zucchini did okay, and then fungus took it out. Tomatoes took it out. I am still going to try and plant now that we're into September because we've got a few months of decent temperatures that I can grow some more stuff. This year sucked, but some things will do well. I know. I mean, I'm looking at doing some stuff in the house too. My lemon and lime trees took the heck off this year. And we gave them biochar, which helps with amending the soil and holding stuff. Yeah, the bugs have been ridiculous. Last couple years, last year it was army worms. This year it's fungus. It's just crazy. But whatever the case may be, like you can grow indoors too if you have lights. That's the other thing. Learn how to do some different things. Herbs aren't hard to grow. They don't need that much care and lights. So I know I miss growing in Colorado, man. My harvests were so insane all the time. I had a growing spaces, growing dome there, and my harvests were amazing indoors and outdoors. Like our stuff was great. I had to do some vegetables and herbs in the house. Yeah, like literally, you guys can do some vegetables and herbs in the house. Like they don't need that much direct light, and they do okay even through the winter. You might have to give them some extra, like move them around into the windows that get more direct light, but you can grow indoors certain things. You might have to arrange some things in your house, but for herbs and stuff like that, I think it's absolute. Now, like I grow a lot of basil, and I like pesto is cheap to make, easy to make, and you can freeze them into like little ice cubes and it'll last you forever. You can throw those on spaghetti squash, and make a quick, healthy, whole food based spaghetti. And oregano super easy to grow. Cilantro super easy to grow. Parsley's easy to grow. Like all these things, easy to grow. Just saying. So, and you can stock up on different things, but yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. But I will tell you, Spirit has said, like, the next couple of years are going to get real dark in the rhetoric and in the bullshit as things contract. We are, in fact, in a time of contraction, meaning things are falling inward, imploding, falling apart. The things that have not been working are now falling apart, and people just relied on them. Everyone wants to go back to normal. And oh my God, when's it come? It's not ever going to go back to the way it was, because the way it was flippin' dysfunctional. Do you guys get that? I know those of you on here probably do. Like, it was bad. We didn't pay enough attention. We took a lot of things for granted and thought, oh, eventually get better, and we weren't involved. Now everybody's involved. Jams and salsa. Yeah, salsa's really good. Like, you can stock up on different things, dry goods like flour and stuff. Make salsa, make jams, Seriously, those things are better to have than not. Get some black beans. Beans are high protein, high fiber. Get rice. Having rice and beans, better than having nothing. We did. We skated along by a thread. So honestly, like, Spirit's been telling me, it's going to look dark. And I want to put it like that. It's going to appear dark. People are going to be hurting each other. and pushing each other. And that is where those of us who are of the light, are of love, need to bind together, create our communities, stay in those communities, encourage one another, participate. So if you're in my Discord, y'all can't rely on me to be the only one posting stuff. Community means y'all post stuff. Y'all encourage one another. Y'all ask questions. Y'all answer questions, not just me. It gets exhausting for someone like me to be like, okay, I'll bring the community together, I'll create it, but then have to carry it. Like, we all have to carry it right now. We all have something to add. Every single one of you has something to add. You have your own piece of light. You are a piece of the puzzle. I did a puzzle last week, finished it last weekend. One that Brindy was working on in Addie. They bought me another one. I'm going to start it today. And it's the first time I've done a puzzle in a couple of years. My brain, and it's kind of a test of my brain, but it's been interesting because when I was doing that puzzle, and I just happened to sit down and start working on it, and then I was having fun with it. My mind was a little broken on a couple of the pieces. I was like, wow. But it's interesting when you do a puzzle, you start to see how much you have to search for that one tiny piece in the box that you're looking for. You might be that one little puzzle piece somebody's been searching for. Are you aware of that? What you know, who you are. The light workers do have to step up, but who you are, what you know, your way of being and showing up could very well be the puzzle piece someone's been looking for, in the way of a friend, in the way of support, in the way of even a question you're asking. Like, there are no dumb questions. We all need to be having these conversations. That's why I said, join the Discord. It's free. Get into my Discord. Let's have these conversations. If you have a question, if you have a concern, if you have a need, if you just need some uplifting, chat in the community chat. If you have recipes, if you have canning instructions, add it to the Discord. The whole idea behind creating this community that isn't on the major social media platforms that we are in control of is to be able to create a resource where we can go and say, man, I'm tired today. Am I the only one whose energy is wacky and way off and unfocused? There's a reason for that. Like, create it in there, and we don't have to worry about it going outside of there. Right? So if you're not in the Discord, come join the Discord. Number one. If you're not participating in the Discord, adding to the Discord, add some stuff. Just say hello, introduce yourself, ask a question, share a recipe, share a gardening tip, share a picture of your damn dog or your cat. Sometimes that's all we need. Share a picture of the sunrise, the sunset. Sometimes that's all we need, right? To get our minds off of something. For real. I like watching monkey videos and gorilla videos for whatever reason. They make me smile. Same with pandas and sloths. I don't share them in that group. I could, but like, those are the things that bring me smiles. And we need smiles right now. There's so many things to laugh about. The absurdity of the things people are believing to be true and to be their reality. The absurdity of it. Keep yourself in the higher vibe place. Does someone else have a question for the tarot? I just had this thought all of a sudden. I'm like, tarot. So if someone has a question, put it in the chat and I will answer it. Collective question. If y'all want like sessions from me, my hourlies are discounted right now. You can jump on. If you need like a 20-minute or a 30-minute instead of a full hour, just message me. Animals are happy creatures. And it's funny because although our dogs are especially hypersensitive right now, a little jumpy. Penny's a little jumpy. Milo and Macy are too. Although they are, I can tell you they're still being dogs. They're still fulfilling their daily routine. They're still living their lives. The dragonflies are still doing their thing every day, all day, every day. The bugs are out there doing their thing. The birds are flying. Life's not over. The squirrels are still messing with the dogs and looking for their nuts. Life's not over. The game's not over. And we have to pay attention to those things. What's happening in nature? The clouds are still drifting by. The rain's still coming. The sun's still shining. The moon's still rising. The sun's still rising and setting. Like the life is still happening, right? Life is still happening. We don't know how many days we have on this planet. None of us do. The people that want to live immortally, I started watching that Brian Johnson Netflix documentary and I just couldn't. Like I got through a quarter of it and was like, oh, the hell, craziness. Because who wants to be immortal? We are already immortal, but I don't need to be immortal in this physical body because I accept and know that I am already an immortal being. My consciousness goes on. I hope you guys know that yours does too. Yet we know this meat suit is temporary, this physical body is temporary, and we have to always keep in mind every morning we wake up and every night we go to bed, we had a day. Thank you. How did I use that day? And how do I want to use tomorrow if I have tomorrow? What we can't do is go too far into the future because that will freak you out. Good to have a plan and an eye towards the future and be walking towards that vision. But if you're tripping about some dark ass future, stop. Stop. Because that adds to the collective negative vibe. We need to project into the future exactly what we want and create it the way we want. And I just keep seeing a world where things are equal, things are balanced between the plant life, the animal life, the sea life, the human life. It's balanced. That fear mongering is no longer acceptable, that hatred is just not part of the equation anymore. Where children and old people could, like, do any of you guys look at, like, follow Chinese people, Asia, Japan? They go out at night into these big groups in public places and do Tai Chi together, dance together. It's crazy to me. Like, and they stay up late and their eateries stay open all night. Like, and it's safe. That is possible for us if we would get rid of the gun violence, the division, the hatred. And a lot of people have said to me, well, yeah, but they're a monoculture. Maybe, but not so much. They've got other people there too. And I don't think that's the deal. It's the same way in South Korea. It's the same way in Japan. I've seen it in Mexico too. Like, and I have a friend who's buying a place in Costa Rica, and he said the same thing. Like, there's stuff, they just get along. People get along. And it's not all about status and work, in my opinion, versus you. Like, everybody helps each other. Everybody gets along. I picture that coming to the US. I picture us moving in that direction. And for a lot of people, they can't see the possibility of that. I see the possibility of that. Wouldn't that be lovely? Won't that be lovely? We can focus on that. Just saying. Anyhow, you want new hardware every now and then? Yeah, me too. We are blessed no matter what. This is a temporary gig. Planet Earth, harsh dimension, heavy dimension, lesson of planet, planet of lessons, lesson of planets, planet of lessons, where we are here to grow and evolve. Some of us do, some of us don't. Some of us come back and have to learn again. It'd be nice if people got along. It would be nice if everybody got along, or at least chose to just ignore the things that they don't agree with. I agree. And I think we can get there. When love becomes, and kindness and respect becomes the demand of the society, the population, the majority, these other things are not acceptable. And for a while, we had more of that, but anymore, it doesn't. It, like I said, the dark's louder right now, and the hatred is louder right now. But that isn't the majority. I just want you guys to remember that. Tell yourselves that's not the majority. That's just the squeaky wheels. And y'all know, if you've been in a place at work, a lot of us have had this happen. You have that one person who's always complaining, and always gets their way. Because, and it's the same way with kids. The kid that's always like, mom, 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 bugs the hell out of you. You tend to give them whatever because they've worn you down. Where the quiet ones, you're just like, I love you. You're so good. You don't ask for much, right? And because they don't ask for much, they don't get much. The other ones are demanding and loud. And it's like that at work too. I don't know how many people I've talked to throughout the years that are like, there's this one at work that's just constantly complaining and blah, 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 blah. And they always get everything they want. They get it because they wear down the leaders. That's kind of what's happening right now. The loud ones, they're not better. There's not more of them. In fact, in a workplace, there's usually more that are quiet and just trying to get their job done. But that squeaky wheel's the one that gets the attention. Why? Because they're wearing people down. They're wearing the, the majority down, and they're getting their way for the moment. That's temporary. Repercussions and consequences are coming, as we have seen. There are consequences to that behavior. And more, we're going to see it. We need to stick together. And we need to do it from a place of empathy and love and compassion. More so, I think, compassion from, again, that saying, I forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Like, I can forgive them because they're just not aware of what the hell they're doing to themselves and others. They're just that disconnected. If you guys can understand that when that disconnect happens and that fracture of the brain happens, they don't know what they're doing. They have no ability to understand the repercussions of their behavior, their words, their actions. They will not until it happens to them, unfortunately. In the meanwhile, when it does happen to them, we should not celebrate it. What we may not have a whole lot of empathy over it, or sympathy, I should say. A lot of the rhetoric around empathy, what I've seen is more, they want sympathy, not empathy. See, I can't put myself in your shoes if your shoes are hateful to begin with, and that's what brought about the consequences of your action. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, that's empathy. Empathy is, I'm going to put myself in your shoes. Well, that can't be selective. Sympathy is, I feel sorry for you. I can see. From over here, I can see how that would suck. That's sympathy. I feel sorry for you. I have sympathy for those affected by what happened personally, family-wise, for the children, for the wife. But I cannot put myself in their shoes and empathize with, because then I would have to do it on all levels all the time, not selectively. See what I'm saying? So that whole like conversation about, oh, where's your empathy? The empathy that he himself said was wrong with America, that guns were important. I can't empathize with that. I won't. I don't agree with it, and I can't feel into that level of hatred. I can't put myself in the, like, I don't suggest any of us put ourselves in the shoes of those who are hateful. Don't become that. Don't. I can sympathize, though. I can have compassion too for the evil that is being perpetrated onto the people that did not see it coming or had such a strong disconnect they couldn't make that connection and understanding, like, oh, that was going to be the outcome of my choices. I can have compassion for you not knowing what the hell you're doing. I get it. I don't have the hatred, the vitriol that comes along with all the bullshit. Like, I'll share with you guys. I got a letter at 10 o'clock last night, an email, short 2 sentences from my CPA, who's MAGA. We can no longer do business together, after a post I shared from Occupy Democrats on my Facebook page the other night. I didn't even comment on the post. I just shared it. I've had to listen to a whole lot of rhetoric over the last year. And did me a favor, because I almost found another accountant back in April, but I was like, don't go there. You've known this guy for a few years. You know his wife. Like, just let it be. It's not hurting anything. But because I shared a Facebook post, and I sent one back and said, I understand. Can you please summarize how you've been handling my stuff so that the transition to a new accountant is reasonable and easy, right? Because this is for my business. I haven't heard back. So, and I have no qualms. Like, that's your business. Do what you got to do. Be professional though. And honestly, I pay. I would rather my money go support someone that's more like me. Just saying. So if y'all know someone who's a small business CPA that handles S Corps, let me know. But yeah, that happened. It's that kind of stuff that I look at and I go, okay, Spirit. And last night I was upset for a couple of minutes. I was like, that is the lamest thing. But then it hit me. And I was like, we just had an eclipse. We're in the eclipse energy, in the shadow. Things are leaving that need to leave. Let them leave. Accept the exit. So let me say that again for you all to hear me. We are still in the eclipse energy, and we have another eclipse coming towards the end of this month. Allow what wants to eclipse out to leave your life to leave. Do it with grace. Do it with full acceptance and knowing something better's coming in behind it. And I fully expect it will be cheaper and it will be better. Right? Yeah, I know. Same with me. It doesn't have to be in Texas. They weren't. They were living in Florida, in Reno before that. So it doesn't have to be a Texas CPA. Just has to be someone who knows how to file in Texas. So when I was young, my grandpa warned me, don't tell others you're a Democrat. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut about it, because I don't consider myself a Democrat or a liberal. I consider myself, like, I don't have a party affiliation. I consider myself a loving human being who really looks to what's the policy, what's the energy behind it. And here's reality. There's a couple of Republicans that I look at and I'm like, okay, you have a sound mind and a sound argument, but there's only been a couple. Only a couple. For the most part, it has been on the side of the Democrats. But I'm a Bernie Sanders fan. I love Bernie Sanders. Love Bernie Sanders. He's been consistent, saying the same thing over and over and over for so many years. Love Bernie Sanders. He's independent. I'm independent. What I don't agree with and will always post about is the truth about when someone puts out a hit list of people that should be doxxed. That's a bunch of bullshit. John McCain comes to mind. I think he was, yeah. I mean, come on. There's been a few they're like, okay, they've got good points. Yeah. What I will not support ever, ever, ever is hatred and vitriol, judgment, and removing of people's rights. Everybody has rights. We all do. I want someone that brings people together and a leader. Me too. Someone who's kind and wants to help the public. Yeah, exactly. And I'm not going to just say, well, you're a Republican, I'm not going to vote for you. If you show up like that and you have an R behind your name, but all of your points and everything you're fighting for is that, yeah, you got my vote. But I haven't seen that. So again, I'm not affiliated with any party. I vote with my conscience and my heart. But I vote. And that's the other part of this. And I share things that I think people need to be made aware of. The fact that a bunch of professors ended up on a hit list and were doxxed and getting death threats. Why is that so wrong to share? Because it's the truth. You happen to be a Black woman as well. Lots of people now are on this new website. Have you guys seen it? charliesmurderers.com. They have are doxing a bunch of people. Where they work, where they live, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. And if Squarespace doesn't take it down, because it's dangerous as hell, and I don't see the point in it. I do not see the point in it, but yeah. It's Wired wrote an article about it the other day. It showed up the day of that young man's passing. Same day. So there's questions on who put that site up. But they're doxing a bunch of people. And the things coming out of that site are full of hatred and violence. So I'm not going to support that. And I can't, because I'm a woman. I'm a brown woman. I'm a spiritual brown woman. 3 strikes right there. Oh, and I'm a divorced single brown woman. 4 strikes. How fucking stupid is that? Unbelievable. And yet I know that this is just bringing to the surface all of the toxins, kind of like, when bad things get into the body, we got to bring to the surface the toxins to detox them. They have to come out of the skin. They have to come out of the bile. It's bubbling it to the surface and then gone. And clean it out. I know. I hear ya, Andrea, but I just pray protection over her. People like her, pray protection. Pray protection. Just keep praying protection. Joy. That's where things are at. They will look, and I want to be clear on this before I wrap this up, and then I'm going to say goodbye. Things will look bad. Things will look dark. I'm going to ask you to ask Spirit to help you see beyond the layer of the illusion on what's really happening. Will America split into regions? You mean like every state for themselves kind of thing? It's very possible. And it's because of economics. 10 of Pentacles is reversed. Money. It's about the money. It's about the more than anything, it's about the economics. It is very possible. It's somewhat likely. However, I don't necessarily see, while I look at these cards, and we got 10s all over the place. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 10s in this reading. But one of the 10s is the Wheel of Fortune, and that's in the future. There's a move towards more regional stuff, right? And literally based on the strength and wealth of a state. From an economic standpoint, it's kind of like every state for themselves sort of thing. But I've asked this question on my own. Spirit, is it going to break into, regions, states, whatever? And I've gotten repeatedly, not completely. However, there will be different populous areas, let's just say like what you're seeing with Washington, Oregon, California, where those three blue states kind of come together to create a region. And then they say, hey, this is what we're going to offer and come together and do. And here's our economy and blah, blah, blah. It's based on that. They won't fully leave the whole nation at all. And part of that has to do with the military, from what Spirit was showing me before, right? But based on people and education and laws, and yes. And what I've been shown, like Spirit's been saying to me for months now, is overturning the things that are happening right now on the federal level will only happen when the states push back. It has to come on a state level, because SCOTUS is a joke, based on people oriented. It's just based on, like, from what I've seen, Michelle, and what I take from this reading, like, it's more based on economics, finances, money, and combining resources, right? But it won't be a full split away. It just won't. I don't think that that's going to happen in the overall scheme of things. I could be wrong, but I have asked Spirit about that, and they're like, not fully. However, like New Mexico is now offering, they want to offer free healthcare for their kids, right? All kids, or no, free childcare. That's what it was. Free childcare, no matter your income, free childcare for all kids. And I'm like, okay, why not healthcare though? Like, that's just going to make people have to go to work. Like, good for you, but what about the healthcare end of it? And New Mexico has struggled a long time with lack of childcare. So state-sponsored childcare, I guess, is a good move towards the right direction. I don't know. I don't know. Stansberry's there, which is good. She's a good one too. So yeah. Anyhow, that's it for now. I don't know when I'll be back live. I will try to come on sometime this week, and it will be on YouTube. I ask that you guys share these videos, these live streams. They're always in the live tab. Share it with your friends and family. If I can't get enough viewership on these lives, it doesn't give me any motivation to go live, for 5 people, unfortunately. Like, it just doesn't. So I've got to spend my time where my time is warranted. If it's just in posting quick things and I'm gone, great. If I can be of use, I will. But we'll see how these new platforms pan out. I'll let you guys know, and join the Discord. Have a good weekend, though. Please unplug. Like, this is the weekend of all weekends to unplug from social media. Unplug and go about your life and watch what happens when you don't pick up your phone. Watch what happens. You'll get your brain back. Have a good one.